Hello. Happy Tuesday. The day after Labor Day, right? Oh, so like changing my calendar. My sister, well, I can't do it right here. So today's the second. I'm waiting on my money to come through so I could go buy the stuff with Jerry to finish up the paint and everything. And then I got everything in this room. I can't believe I fit the whole living room, but I already had moves and stuff out of this room. So anyway, it's crazy. Um, I went outside. It's a little overcast, which will be hard if we got to go get the drywall. And I don't want it to rain on it. And he has to be back at his job Thursday. He just comes down here to help out with his mom, and he grew up here. Yeah, he's always working when he comes. But I was looking at this story about in Philadelphia where they seized the people's property because somebody in there supposedly sold drugs out. Even if it ain't the homeowner, like we have that over here, and we have all these empty houses. And right after my aunt Lurleen had passed away, and I was settling in and trying to figure out, because it's a lot of like this house is like on 6 lots, like regular sized city lots, and so but actually, I go all the way from Harahan to Gillis. Anyway, I got like a quarter of the or half. Anyway, it's a big yard, and so I saw the neighbor, and I never seen anybody over there because the other two houses next to me are empty. And there's the one guy that was living here that wasn't paying rent or anything. Um, he didn't pay the taxes on that house after his mom died, and the city took it. And the house next to it, the city took the house from the people. But anyway, um, so I said, "Oh, hi," and he goes, "Ah, you crackhead bitch," and I'm like, "Your mother." Because I was just gonna say hi, I'm the new proprietor of this place, or I don't even know what I was gonna say, the new owner, or I live here, because I had never seen anybody over there. Well, the guy that he's an alcoholic crackhead, the one, and Lurleen felt sorry for him because his mom died. He had been in jail and like for whatever reason, selling drugs and. But anyway, he had made friends with this, and unannounced to me, I didn't know he was a policeman, right? So he got the house on a siege, and well, anyway, so he talked crazy as hell to me. Well, the guy that he made friends with, who I had to call the police on for stealing, him and his little crew, they're all like in their 60s though, right? Like not the ones that you look for, like the teenagers. Teenagers around here are, you know, are doing teenager stuff. But anyway, they go and they break into houses and they take the hot water heaters, they take all the copper piping, they take all the electric wires out because it's copper and strip them. Anyway, right? So, like they were making fun of me because I get up at 2 o'clock because I can hear because I'm on the hill and well, anyway, they're right next to it. I can hear like noise, but I just really can't tell where it's coming from. And we also have trains, so sometimes I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's the trains. And we have a lot of planes that fly overhead. FedEx flies over like every 15 minutes sometimes. But anyway, so it's like 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock when they hit around 2 o'clock. So I checked my property. I know there was somebody over there, but I'm not going over there, you know. And so anyway, so the whole time the guy thought because he cursed me out. Could police like if they like do something bad to you and you just sort of like da da block like 'cause I'm like, oh, your mama, and I'm going to my porch. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Now, because he cursed, because he don't call me a crackhead. He in his mind, oh, she a crackhead. She don't have a car. She in his house. She the one going in his house at night. So then the next thing I know, the police started this rumor that I'm paranoid. Well, anyway, the whole time, right, that these other guys, they've been in and out of jail. They really good. Like the worst ones are the best friends with the jailers, and we have jailers that live over here. I mean, imagine the worst school where all the kids end up, either dancing on a pole. Oh, later on they'll get a 6-week course and drive an ambulance or come a nurse's aide or something. But and all the guys think they're dope dealers. But anyway, so what these other guys that are in their 50s and 60s, do is they're the ones that do. They drive around with trucks, they gather metal, and they go in the houses. Well, why the cops was fucking with me for like the 6 years? They went in every single one of the houses that the cops had, pulled up floors, tore out walls. So anyway, they're not making any money off of it. And the whole time they're looking at little old me without a vehicle. Now tell me, you think I was carrying those water heaters down the street on my back? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They good friends with the dope dealers, all buddy and everything. They know all the prostitutes. Listen with this. Look how smart they are, because it's against the law to solicit prostitute. It's not prostitute. It's not sex. It's not fucking. That's against the law. It is going up to people and begging them for money to have sex with you is against the law. Soliciting. So anyway, what they were doing was having sex with these prostitutes, right? So they could prove their case. When all they had to do was, when she says, oh, well, it's going to cost you this much money, they should click. You're arrested. Not that she had to do the dirty deed. So they all got AIDS and hepatitis. And when the guys that was in jail, like this one guy, I won't say anybody's names, but anyway, because everybody knows him around here. But anyway, and he had been in jail for rape, right? And he did 8 years. Well, anyway, when he came out, right, he was supposed to do maintenance, but he couldn't do anything. I couldn't have him work in my house because first thing, he kept alluding to wanting to have sex with me, right? And the little bit of work I saw that he wasn't doing right. So anyway, he got a job. The city was going around and redoing old houses for elderly people. And these guys, when they went in there, that the police had trained, went in there to do the houses, they gutted them, and made them worse. If they went in there for like a little leak, when the guys left, like the whole underneath of the sink was gone. So if you turn the water on, it would just shoot down, and you had to use a bucket or something. Anyway, they did such a bad job on it that some of them would have to have their whole house replaced. But anyway, and the city would try to deny it, like, oh, where the money went. But these are the people that the police had trained. They trained them to go tear up shit. But anyway, the other guys that also go around, they also, I guess, well, anyway, but so in our neighborhood, our biggest problem is that the police. I mean, like when they was messing with me about, I don't even know what, because I had to go to court because of that guy that didn't pay rent, that was stealing, that it was crackhead. He was bringing crack dealers up here all day long to sell him crack, walk right past my house, which, you know what I'm saying? So he had to go anyway because he wasn't paying no bills. He was stealing electricity. So the only people I could get that I actually got to do some work was the electric company. When I said he's stealing electricity, they came out and did something. The police department looking at me like, what I'm saying, we don't see your name. This is family inheritance. It's like there's 2 names on it. And so like they see 2 names. So like being ignorant and racist means that like, well, it's the top one or whatever they think. It's not, what I'm saying? And, like, I can't even imagine that they're supposed to be around lawyers all day long, like going to court over stuff. But anyway, our neighborhood, like, I'm the only house on the street, except for Rick across the street. No, okay, there's 4 houses now because the one guy that had his house flooded, they helped him out, moved him out to a house, made him pay rent, right? And then they, like 3 years into it, there's like this big old, like, you have to make 3 payments in one, like a little balloon payment. So anyway, so they evicted him. Well, he still was paying taxes on his house. Because some people, but anyway, just like Blue, same thing happened to him. But his mom was still paying taxes on the house. So he moved back to his house. And the nice house that he was going to buy and everything, the city ended up with that. You know, their whole game is like here, they the police department, even though they're all black, this is all black, you see all black, but their bosses is white. You should see that, like the investigator, the white little investigator, you know, this little punk ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? If it was one-on-one and he talked that shit to me, he would have got his ass beat down. But he's around a whole bunch of these, I don't know what's wrong with these black people. Besides, I know they really is ashamed to be black. They're ashamed and they hate themselves because there is no way that man across the street gonna call me. If you're a policeman and you're around crackheads, don't you look by their eyes? Don't you go by, you know what I'm saying? It ain't cause I can talk cause God gave me a mouth. Like, oh, she talk a lot. She talk a lot. She do this. Look at her walking around. Well, I don't have a car. And you cannot explain to them, I do not have a car. So I have to walk. Right? 3rd Street is like 3 miles up, right? So yes, I do. You see me walk. So anyway, you know, the one policeman that was harassing me the most, his house burnt down, right? He laughed when he stole some shit from me, and they thought that shit was funny. Laughed, tore him, killed a yellow rose bush, and killed a whole bunch of little plants, and you know, just doing obnoxious shit, trying to fuck with me. I guess they suicidal in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's unconscious, because you know what I'm saying. Like, they looking for somebody maybe, like, to put them out of their misery. But, you know what I'm saying? Who cares about you? Because I know, like, even if I have to go to jail, I don't have to see your face. I'll see somebody else's, so I don't have to deal with you. But, you know, for however long you go on. But anyway, the more, they like that Darren Watson that murdered that boy walking down the street. It's like they got a license to murder. They got a license to be a moron. But anyway, this full house burned down. So he laughed, he can make fun with his investigator cops, you know, because there was a store, a gas station actually, and right next to the gas station, the police took over an old place where they used to work on cars, you know, auto place, and they use that as their headquarters, right? So, you know, like, if I walk past there, they think I'm not walking past there to get cigarettes or beer like everybody else, or chips, or wherever the hell, or like they got food, like that one has food in it, and anyway, there's, and I don't buy their food, because, you know, that shit look, I don't even know what the hell that shit is. Shit look nasty, but I assume that it's post, you know, I don't know what. As far as I know, it's not hot dogs, it's rat dogs. Hot rat. Anyway, so they have that place. So like, you know, so like one time he was telling me, oh well, we got cameras up and down, and we can see you walking. And I'm like, okay, and I'm gonna continue walking, right? And he's still going on, and this is like real fun to him. You know, even though like I'm not really responding. Just like the time when they went and frisked me, you know. And they didn't frisk me. They knew I didn't have no fucking drugs. You know what I'm saying? They don't see me, you know, coming out the goddamn crack house. Because, like, I walk past. If I want to arrest somebody for drugs, I could probably arrest somebody every 2 seconds out of there's like, actually, I think there's like, I counted like 35 little crack houses. And like, and it's like in, it's only like, it's in a 3 mile square radius. Come on now. And there's just as many churches. Might be one. There might be 32 churches. Might be one better. Anyway, so he, you know, and like I got cash, and I'm thinking these bitches is gonna fucking rob me while they playing fucking games. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, while they had me in the car for an hour, like they call a dog catcher on a dog that don't even belong to me. I did have a dog before they killed it. It was in the yard, and the dog was on the other side of the fence. They stole the fence, you know, to the front of my yard, you know, on my birthday. Shit like that. So anyway, I laughed when he told me his house burned down. What the fuck you want me to do? If it's hilarious for my pain and my suffering and for shit that costs me money, if that shit's fucking funny, right, then in my mind, well, you must think it's hilarious when that bad shit happens to you. You know what I'm saying? Why would it be different? Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like they had this police lady that tried to bust in his house and got killed, right? And then from the stories they were telling about her, they were trying to say she was a great woman with 5 kids, right? She was married at the time, having somebody else's child. So obviously the lady was more thinking about her self-gratification, i.e. sex, which, if you got 5 kids from 4 different fathers or 3 different fathers, you're really miserable. So anyway, she got killed. They carried on something big, a big parade. But when that Darren Watson killed Michael Brown, did they apologize to that family, to the Browns family? Did they have a big ceremony and march down the street? Well, and maybe take pass a hat so they could have buried the boy decent? Did they do anything respectful? But anyway, when they having that police car, I heard the sergeant talking about, is she crying? And the girl's like, no. I couldn't even breathe in the back of the fucking police car. How am I gonna cry? You know what I'm saying? Maybe when you whoop your kids, they cry. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? I did 18 months in Wichita in jail, and I didn't do the crime then either. All right? My white husband at the time, which is so cute, and he must have been, what am I doing with him? What the fuck really was I doing with him after I was divorced in a year and a half? And you asked me what to do. He wasn't living with me. Okay? But anyway, he over there making crystal meth, trafficking cocaine. He dead now. Basically, the cops did kill him. They had him go in places and do, buy drugs. He do the drugs. And all that did was make the opportunity for his family be the big dope dealers. And they just knocked out all the little motherfuckers. That's the same thing they did here. It's the same motherfuckers. Every time a new kid graduates from the high school, they got the little dope thing in here. They got these grown up. Oh, let me tell you about that guy with the rapist. Let me get back. So what happens is, okay, he got raped in jail by, like they do, like the police here, they saw Oz. So it's like, whoo, that's what we're going to do, which Oz was about it happening in prison in the 50s, right? So, anyway, it's just like a lot of people think 1984 was about in the future, 1984, not about that guy right there working for BBC in the he was in the propaganda. Anyway, so 1984 really happened in 1944. But anyway, let me get back. So anyway, that guy, when he came out, he was having sex with some of the crackhead hoes around here. So if the police, right? But anyway, while he was in jail, but the lifers that stay in jail, the ones that gave him AIDS, they're still in jail, and every time, it's the guys that are going to be coming out in the community with the hepatitis, with the AIDS. And there's something you should think about when it comes to AIDS. This is just a thought. Now, you remember when everybody was giving plasma? And then, I knew some people, they would go give plasma, then they go buy cocaine or crack or crystal meth, or heroin, right? And they would go have an orgy. And I didn't just participate in it, because there's nothing I can't stand worse is all those juices and a whole bunch of funky people that are, just on drugs. Yeah, because I didn't like them. I didn't hang out with them anyway, because people that do a lot of drugs, they only hang out with people that do a lot of drugs. And I wasn't it, and I thought, I did, my fair share, but forget about it, they would, but anyway, and plus I'm not a type of person that likes to hang out in big crowds, and I don't, and the stench. Anyway, so they would go get plasma, they go do the drugs, right? To get plasma, that is when they talk about the T cells, they're talking about your white blood cells. And if your white blood cells, when you have a pimple and you pop it, and that pus that comes out, well, when you get an infection, like my cousin, when she got it, it was like a sack in her stomach was just filled up with pus. So anyway, so if you're not, so you have all your white blood cells taken away, you have nothing to fight. That fights your immune system. You have nothing to fight your immune system. You go do some drugs, right? So you probably didn't eat. You're not going to, you do drugs, you're not going to eat proper. So you go and have an orgy, right? Say somebody in that has STD. Well, you don't have anything to fight off. at this moment because your body hadn't had time to rejuvenate. It takes a few days. So anyway, so it festers up, So that's the number one cause of a lot of reasons why people do have HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases. It is your behavior, and you know, a lot of it is like, especially in the medical industry, they're making a lot of money on us being sick. Like AIDS, you take a pill for the rest of your life. Look at Magic. He looks good, but he's on high dollar medication, or um, or maybe it's not as high dollar anymore, but he is on medication. Diabetes, you're on medication, forever. Like, I gotta take high blood pressure pills. I gotta take them now, like, fucking forever. You know what I'm saying? The cough bug was, every time they pull out, I have anxiety. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a car. I gotta go get groceries. I gotta get toilet paper to wipe my shitty ass. You know what I'm saying? These are necessities. I'm not walking any place because, like, la da 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 da, it's a nice sunny day. I'm walking because I have necessities. I have to get food. I like to have soap, stuff like this. Nothing fancy or highfalutin, some just to keep my ass clean, you know what I'm saying, and my stomach full. Because I put in, shit gonna come out. But anyway, right? So, like, you would say, like, at one time, the Europeans, like, when they had first went to Alexander and they seen these people, they thought, well, they were gods, because, like, if you'd imagine, like, you know, like, okay, like, say, like, the gold that they would use it for unlimited electricity and like other stuff. So they had all this technology looking. They even had plumbing. So it's like, just maybe like you went back to Europe and you tried to do the cities, right, like that, and you forgot to do plumbing, right? So then, like, that was their first thing of festering up all the different type of bacteria and stuff. People living, amongst shit, feces, either in their feces, rat feces, horse feces, cow feces, not bathing, often, because the next city, Alexandria, and this is like, this city right there's no longer, because, like, finally they charged in there and destroyed all the city and had great libraries, and that's where they supposedly wanted to steal all their information, right? But anyway, so they like, they had the Black Plague and they had all these different diseases they festered up during that time, and their answer was like to cut people open, and put leeches and all this stuff, on them, which, you're exposing more bacteria, filth, and all this. So anyway, so they thought when they came to America, their biggest power is that when they got around these people, they was dead in 7 and 14 days. Especially if they had sex with them, they just dropped dead. So they think that being a disease and infection is their power. Personally, I think that it was really their weakness, and I think that is the weakness that we're having right now with the pharmaceuticals. I was listening to Russell Brand talk about, touched on, he had got a question about, the clinical marijuana and how they price it. Because if they price it like what they price down the street, you know, anyway, it doesn't really matter, because the reason why they don't want something like marijuana legal opposed to cocaine or heroin, because of the sex industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like when it comes to like places where like you could go where you know what I'm saying? There's no way you're gonna go and have sex, with even one different person. You know what I'm saying? You know, and not be emotionally, sick. But like they do the same thing with guys. But if you're on cocaine or something, you're not gonna get the pain, because like it's not like because like I hear about guys that with show their body getting ripped open and everything else. Now come on, now you're not doing something right. But anyway, But it doesn't really matter because it's not even about the other person. It's just, these guys could, have sex with an inflatable doll, just jerk off. It doesn't, what I'm saying? They really don't need, the person's unconscious, the person could be dead. It doesn't really matter. Because if a guy can have sex with a person unconscious, then that person right there, what I'm saying? But anyway, what happens is they do this cocaine, like around here, they do these cocaine, and then when they get in, like, all the guys around here, like this one girl, Ann, she was on Steve Wacko, right? She thinks I had sex with her husband at that time, but she was having sex with somebody else. No, at that time I was on drugs, and like we got like houses over here, but at that time we didn't have any empty houses. But I was over here, so they had an empty house next to theirs. So we'd go in the empty house. I had some drugs. He just wanted to do it, but he was actually having sex with his other two guys. He was not having sex with women no more since he had came out of jail. Because, like, I guess, like he told me, there ain't nothing tighter than an ass. And I'm like, whatever. I hope you wash your fucking hands now that you passed me that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's all I give a fuck about. We was cool. You know what I'm saying? And then the last time, like, now he sort of lost his mind. The last time when he came out of jail, I guess he had, like, a massive coronary arrest. I guess the police thought the shit was fucking funny. But, I get, and then after he stopped breathing, they did, but so anyway. So, that's why, if it's fucking funny, this guy, because of he OD pretty much has a cardiac arrest, and you're gonna laugh at the guy while you waiting for somebody to come, like, ha ha ha, what you did. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I never knew that I could be tortured and bullied and chastised so much. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? But whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just because they fucking do wrong, right? And they think by fucking with me is gonna make me do wrong. No, I just hate you. And I didn't ever think I could really truly hate somebody. I got no respect for them. I truly hate them, and unless for insurance purposes, they come after the crime. So basically, what the fuck? If for insurance purposes, you know what I'm saying? I have to get that money or whatever, cover my ass that way, yeah, I'll call. Other than that, what's the use? Because when I got punched in the face, I had to beat this fucking burn the fuck off of me. He just gonna lift me up and say, oh, you're coming along with me, this crazy crackhead motherfucker. I punched and kicked him. Next thing I know, he dropped me, bent all over. You crazy bitch. I'm like, bitch, stay right there. I was running the house. I was gonna kill the motherfucker. That bitch went ghost. I was like, this bitch here. And I knew I couldn't call the cops. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they'd probably say something, well, why don't you just give them some? You're a female. Don't you want sex? You know what I'm saying? Because all us females, all we want to do is be like men. Well, whenever I want a dick, I know I could go to a doctor and get it. So I don't have to think or nothing. This is 2014. And I'm straight up female, and I don't have a problem with it. You got a fucking problem with it? It's probably the police must have had a low-down, dirty hoe for a mama and a hoe for a daddy. Raised them. All they do around here is fuck. That's all these police do with each other is fuck. And now, with your hateful ass self, this neighborhood, 90% HIV. And I was already celibate before. I just broke it. I know I dated that one stupid investigator. I told you I was doing an experiment. Then I just call you once a year. And that was for 3 years. And then the next 3 years afterwards, you've been fucking with me. You're an idiot. Of course I don't want to mess with you. The first thing you told me after sex was like, oh, my dad told me never pass up pussy. Okay, that tells me straight out your dad was a whore, a homemonger, right? Probably died an old played out trick. And that, of course, your mom, right, had to be a hoe because if daddy's hoeing around with everybody ain't passing up pussy, you ain't going home giving up no dick. And no matter how these guys said, if you'd have gave me some, you know what I'm saying? If you was someplace else and you with another woman, you ain't with your wife. So, and you ain't with your wife, just like over here with so-and-so's wife. He was running around getting these other women pregnant. Well, anyway, she ended up he never did get the AIDS. There was like, we got 2 guys over here that missed that bullet. because they was fucking around in somebody else's house and didn't come back home. And then by the time, you know, anyway, they're stupid. So not only do we have all these empty houses that have been guttered out, you know, so, but like the house across the street, I saved that before they even went in. And it wasn't because I called the police, it's because I called the lady. Like, I already knew then, you know, what the police gonna do. They, you know, the shit happens, you tell them, oh, they've been there at 2 o'clock. They come driving around 11 in the afternoon. Anyway, I gotta go take a shower because I gotta, because I told him I'll meet him at 12. Well, I gotta make a couple of phone calls. I don't see if the money comes through. I was telling after 12. Anyway. So just think that our society, the way it is structured, is really, so the white man had figured out how to get money. And it's only a few people at the top. Let's just say you have like, you know, and the people down the bottom, basically capitalist is a form of slavery. They have figured out, they have figured out a way to charge you to shit. You know what I'm saying? Charge you for your water. You know what I mean? Even Tulsa, he wanted to introduce, you know, free reusable energy. And they were like, what? We need a meter. You know what I'm saying? And they just tore his shit down, burned it, and distributed his shit around. We want to make sure nobody knows how to do anything for themselves. So, anyway, yeah, does Russell Brand think he's going to change anything? No. Like the people around here think they're going to give up that job and paying that mortgage and paying all those taxes and going back and forth to jail and having the people please bust your door down and taking your house. That's what they was trying to do to me. The only thing for them, only thing that was on my side is I had no fucking clue. Even what happened in Kansas, you know, I you know what I'm saying, I didn't really have a clue. You know, whatever illegal shit that somebody's doing. Over there, they were talking about Ku Klux Klan. I'm looking at the police the whole time, and I'm like, yeah, I know these ignorant niggas over here say I think I'm white, but really? You think the Ku Klux Klan gonna let me in? And what happened is, I did know a couple of kids that parents were in the Ku Klux Klan when I had taught art in the Boys and Girls Club, you know. And I had also have been to like hear a couple of guys that play some music, and one of the drummers in a club where I got drunk. But you know, I was like, yeah, I've been there, and I got shit faced. And no, I do not know the band personally at all. You know, it's like everybody that goes to a club and sees a live band, you know, and got fucked up shit faced and threw up out in the parking lot and decided to leave the car and walk home was all because they knew the band. But instead, my friend gave me a ride. But anyway, it's not really because of policing. It's because, like, you know, like they're all like 6'2". You know, here I am 5'3", right? You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be intimidating. You're not, you know what I'm saying? Just because the first time you see me, the first time you know me, it's not, it's like they think abracadabra is the first time I've been here. You know, oh my, anyway. So I guess, anyway, our neighborhood looks like shit. I don't know what the purpose is. But whatever the purpose is, they're not renting the place out. And I guess he ain't living here since his house burned down. And the only person you have to blame for that is God, because he had an electric problem. Now, but if you want to blame everybody else and try to take your shit out on everybody else, who cares? You know what I'm saying? We figure, you know what I mean, you weep with your soul, it'll come back to you tenfold.